Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Girls Who Like Hoops podcast. I'm Tora. Hope you guys are having a great week. Welcome to season 3. First things first, like, subscribe, follow me on whatever you're listening to this on to stay up to date on new episodes. There's going to be new episodes every Tuesday. It's Monday, but every Tuesday moving forward. I wanted to do an episode for opening weekend since there aren't any games on today. This episode is a bit late. It was supposed to be out at noon. But, there were some glitches in the plan. Pre-podcast naps were taken. League Pass games not available. Like, it gets to a point. But it's okay. I'm on your ass in a minute, Kathy. Follow me on social media. Everything is linked in the link tree below. I'm working on my website so I can stop telling you guys to click the link tree below. It's going to be great. There's exclusive content available on other platforms. On TikTok, I have my early thoughts to games and also the pod vlog, which is just behind the scenes of how I make this podcast. And also you can watch Unbiased and Unbothered there, which is just a live stream that we do on TikTok and Twitch and YouTube. Also over on Justice's page, we just talk about WNBA stuff. We talk with the people in the chat and we watch games, talk about some of the discourse and, some of the broader topics throughout the week. So if you're interested in that, check that out. It comes on at 9 p.m. on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And then over on Twitter, I have my live reactions to games and daily predictions this season. I'm keeping a tally of how many correct predictions I can make about the 330 games this season. And right now, I've only been wrong 2 times, but it was the Aces' fault because they didn't show up at all. And then I accounted for them not showing up at all. But I was like, the Sparks are going to have fresh legs. So then I said that they were going to lose that game. And then they won. So it was the Aces' fault both times. And I'm kind of annoyed with them right now. Anyways, the seeding predictions will be available week 3. I need to see like 2 weeks of basketball before I start putting playoff predictions together, okay? And then the poll question is probably going to be related to early Rookie of the Year predictions. So if you're interested in voting on that, it's available on Spotify. There's going to be some new segments this year. Who won the week, which is going to be the team that I think played the best or, improved the most, whatever. We'll see what happens when we get there. Obviously, my player of the week is returning, and also a new one, Discourse of the week. We have a lot of things to discuss, and then after that, we're going to get into the stats and the game-by-game analysis. We're going to start right now with WNBA League Pass. Kathy Engelbert to the front. Okay, lady. Here's the thing that really gets me about the situation. You get the TV rights deal and these players deserve to be paid. If I need to pay for League Pass to help these players get their bag up, I'm perfectly fine with that. In these economic times in the United States, I'm not going to hold you to be paying for a League Pass that doesn't work in different ways. It's very agitating. It's confusing. It's upsetting. Why? I understand if this game is not nationally televised, that it's being blacked out, but the fact that you have to wait till 6 a.m. the next day to watch the game is absolutely ridiculous. People have jobs, okay? In these economic times, I'm choosing between League Pass to enjoy women's basketball in my free time, to hold on to hope, and filling up my gas tank. And honestly, $40 doesn't even fill up my gas tank. And it'd be one thing, again, if League Pass was good, if you guys put out a good product, but you didn't. League Pass is ass. And Kathy, it's like time and time again, you're always doing stuff, and sometimes it's like, we didn't ask you to do that. We didn't ask you to do that. League Pass last year was better than League Pass this year. You can't even do multi-view now. It's literally, you have to have different devices. You got to have a TV. You got to have a computer, an iPad, a phone. You have to have all of the stations. You got to have Prime. You got to have Peacock. You got to have this, that, and the third. And it's just you're making this so much harder than it needs to be. It's almost like you're doing it on purpose. And I don't like that. League Pass on iPad is ass. It's terrible. Again, the fact that you can't watch some of these games until 6 a.m. the next day, we have things to do. And on top of that, the stats page isn't working. It just started working yesterday. Prior to that, no video box score. You couldn't even see the scores on some of the stuff. Like, there's no footage to the video box score. How is it a video box score? It's not. This is just very frustrating. It's very frustrating, and it gets to times, like sometimes I wonder if you even care, and I know you don't. I know you don't. It's very upsetting. So, Kathy, I'm not going to do too much on you because it was Mother's Day yesterday, and I know you're a mother, and I know you got some type of family thing going on, but like, this is BS. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. You're going to have to step it up and do better. Because it's just ridiculous. It gets to a point. It's either you're saying some shifty backhanded stuff in an interview, or you're not fulfilling anything for the fans. Like, when was the last time you did something for the fans? You find yourself racking your brain because you can't recall. I don't recall. Anyways, moving on. Discourse of the week. We're going to hit one of these a little bit later. I need to set the scene for Julie Vanloo. And then I'm going to get there, though. We're going to discuss Kate. I don't think I'm going to talk about Azzi and the situation, because people have been saying, if you're not on Twitter or on Threads, there's been a lot of conversation around Azzi being the number one pick and XYZ. I don't find issue with Azzi not starting. I actually think it's a non-issue. It's one thing to be drafted to a team that needs you and is rebuilding. It's an entirely different thing to be drafted to a team that is in pursuit of a championship and is contending. And it's like Kurt Miller put this team together, and he purposely, he wanted that number one pick again this year. I think that she's in just a very particular situation, because usually the number one pick goes to a team that really, really needs it. And because of this, these special circumstances with the free agency and the CBA and everything, that the number one pick went to a team that actually has a very strong roster. And it's just a different situation. Caitlyn went number one, and Fever played better. And she was a starter because they needed her to be that pivotal piece. She was a pivotal rebuilding piece alongside Aaliyah Boston. But Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson, they started, that was a team that needed help. That was a team that was struggling. They got the number one pick 3 years in a row because they were terrible. And then with Dallas, they were bad. They were bad before Paige. They were that season. I enjoyed that season. I feel like Arike and Maddie and Odyssey Sims played very well together that season before. But they had a lot of injuries. And, that next season, we got Paige. And then I think that they were purposely terrible, in my opinion. That's my theory. I think that they were purposely terrible because they needed that number one pick. And because of these special circumstances with the CBA and free agency, they were able to build this contention team. It's a very specific situation that might not even happen very often. Maybe it will more in the future. I don't know. But yeah, the number one pick isn't starting. I don't think that that's really I don't really think it's really anything to talk about. I think this roster is just very good. And she's a rookie, so naturally she's going to have to come in and, play impactful minutes and eventually get into a starting spot. I think that she could start, and depending on matchup, it really just depends who's hurt, that thing. But I think she's just in a very different and specific situation, and that's just the end of it. I don't think that it's really this whole thing about, she's not good enough or she shouldn't have been a number one pick. I don't know, why that conversation is coming up. I know exactly why the conversation is coming up, but it's just a weird thing to come to the conclusion on when Azzi is in a very different position than most of the number one picks in the past 5 to 6 years. Kate and the Valkyries, let's discuss. This is very nuanced to me. I saw Kate's video from people asking her about the situation at the Sparks game. She signed a development contract with them, which I think is going to be great for her. She's done dog class with Kelsey, and, I think I'm just happy for her that she got another opportunity somewhere. With the Valkyries, I know that people don't like Natalie Nakase because of how she kind of handles things, and they don't really like how the Valkyries get down when in terms of decision making and, you know, kind of using players to promote and doing a lot of different things. I think for me, I can't judge the Valkyries, and I had this opinion before the 2 games that I watched. But I can't judge the Valkyries too harshly on the decisions that they are making and that they do make, because even though like the decisions don't make sense to me in the moment, like last season, I really thought Amihir deserved a spot. I forgot her first name, but I thought Toure, I thought she deserved a spot, and both of them got waived after having good games. And I was very confused, but at the end of the day, that's still a roster that went way beyond what people thought they were going to do. Like that's an expansion team that actually took it seriously, and they made it to the first round of the playoffs in their inaugural year. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's tough to see a player, you know, get waived and for them to go through that. But it's also like, if the Valkyries make it to the playoffs again or make it past the first round, you do have to kind of like, it was a hard decision, but that's what makes Natalie a great coach, is that she's willing to make those hard decisions in the name of winning. And obviously that doesn't always look pretty. And at the same time, I think that how the Valkyries get down, it is unfortunate, but it is a business. And I think that a lot of times teams not being able to, you know, kind of treat it as that, as hard as it is, because I do think that what happened with Julie Vanloo last year, that was really messed up. It's tough. I kind of need to see what the team does moving forward over this season and next season before I'm like, oh, the Valkyries, like, they're just a cutthroat team, but it's in the name of winning. It's in the name of competing for a championship. So it's tough to really be upset about it, but I understand why people are upset. And, you know, obviously Kate is like deserving, like her feelings are valid, however she feels about it. And yeah, but, you know, I'm glad that Kate got the opportunity somewhere else, and, you know, hopefully things, you know, turn around for her. I know a lot of people are kind of bringing up Unrivaled and how she had do not plays and stuff like that. I will say that I don't know. I'm very up and down on it. I kind of need to see how some other players shake out as the years go on, in terms of like going to Athletes Unlimited versus going to Unrivaled or going overseas. You know, how is your game developing? Is it developing differently with Unrivaled? And, you know, it's kind of one of those things. I think the 5-on-5 and the 3-on-3 aspect of it, it complicates things. It complicates them, but we'll see how it goes. I hear the conversations happening around it though, and I did want to acknowledge them, but I'm gonna think on it. Okay, now let's get into the basketball. On Friday, we had 3 games. The Mystics beat the Tempo 68-65. Really fun matchup. They're both like fairly young teams, so there was a lot of pushing the pace, getting up and down the floor. I felt like Julie Alleman had a great game. She was very active, keeping the ball moving. They definitely benefit from having a point guard on the floor. The Tempo got called for a lot of moving screen calls. The fouls, that's a point of conversation right now. I don't mind them, only because I feel that the officials are supposed to be dictating the tone and what they're going to accept and what they're not going to accept. And I don't mind them setting the tone hard right now with what they're going to allow and what they're not. And I'm interested to see how these players adjust to that. I will say, yeah, there are a lot of fouls being called, and it is taking a long time for the games to end. Alternatively, 2 years ago, it was taking forever for the games to end because they were reviewing everything, going back to the monitor like for 10 minutes at a time. I think that this is just one of those things where it's growing pains, but I do think that the game will be better off for it in the future for the way that they're calling the game right now, if that makes sense. It's very nuanced. People have different opinions on it. It is taking a long time for the games to end, and I'm sure it is tough to find rhythm when there's constant stoppage, but I'm not too upset about it right now. And people do be have been moving screens. So I can't even really be upset. It's obviously more than that. It's also just like ticky-tack stuff, but we'll see how it plays out. I think they might loosen up as the weeks go on, but they do have to set the tone, and I don't mind it just because of some of the things that some people got away with last season. Neither team shot the three well, but I kind of appreciated that because it kind of gives you the opportunity to see what they can do without the three, which I think is more exciting. I felt like Sandy had good game management throughout the game. It just came down to some, poor decision making from their veteran guards. Marina, I felt like giving the shot up to Sykes for three when she hadn't been shooting it well. I thought that was insane, but I also thought it was crazy that Brittany Sykes would even attempt the shot when she could have dribbled in, maybe got a foul or finished around the rim. Like, there was just like a couple of different options, and also they should have ran more of the clock down. There were just a couple of things that they just have to tweak in the clutch time. But I think also they kind of need a third person to help, because at that point they were starting to double Marina. We know you're probably going to throw a three up, and you can't get a three, because if you get a three, we're cooked. But also, Brittany Sykes wasn't shooting well, but I kind of feel like they might have played on that a little bit, because the Mystics, they know her tendencies. And, it was just poor decision making and poor shot selection. But hopefully, as the season goes on and continues forward, we see them grow in these moments. So, Mystics, they had 40 points in the paint to the Tempo's 16, and that's insane. But they have some great guards on the Mystics. They have some great players. Everybody was, getting their touches in. Sonia had 26 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and was 9 of 12 from the field. She had an amazing game. It kind of happened quietly to me. Like, I was watching the game. There was 2 games on. That's why I went. That's why it felt quiet. But those 26 points, she's very efficient. She looked great. Obviously plays hard on both ends of the floor. Sonia she's definitely a centerpiece for this team. And, as we continue watching them, they're just doing really great for a young team. I know a lot of people are, they're bringing up they don't have no vets. How are they going to win? They have no experience. But I'm very excited for this team. They have put together a nice situation over the past year or two, and what they've been able to do, at least in the front half of last season and right now, is going to be about whether or not they can string that together for the entirety of the season now. But I definitely think that it's possible. They do have a few injuries, just like 2, I think. But I'm excited to see Cody McMahon. I've heard people say really great things. Rory Harmon has looked good. Georgia Amore is on minutes restriction, but the both of them, I feel like those are great point guard options. And even though they're small, they're gritty and they have great vision. So very excited to see them. Shakira Austin was supposed to be on the Tempo, but the Mystics, they matched it. She got 18 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and was 6 of 13 from the field. Shakira is definitely a player that benefited from Unrivaled, and I think has just, her being healthy is just continued to elevate her game. And, I hope that she's able to continue to grow and be successful. Kiki Iriafen, 12 points, 15 rebounds, double-double. We're used to this. 5 of 9 from the field. Again, amazing footwork. And again, somebody else that I think benefited from their time in Unrivaled with the Phantom. There were moments when she had to show up big for the team, and she did that. And I think it's really given her a lot of confidence in her game 5-on-5 as well. So shout out to Kiki and Sonia and all of them. I'm very excited to watch the Mystics. They might be like my underdog team of the year. For the Tempo, people are having conversations about the Marina and Brittany Sykes backcourt conversation, and I'm going to hold them accountable in a very serious way. But it's kind of like we have to acknowledge that who else is going to do it? Like, Marina and Brittany might not get it done extremely efficiently, but it's also like, I would take that over like not having any offense, or having guards that won't even like attempt to get in the paint and try some different stuff to shoot it. So, I think that these are just 2 players that have a lot of confidence in themselves and are capable of playing good basketball. It's just going to be about, how the coach handles it and also how the pieces around them help them with the scoring load. Because I think, if anything, that is more so the issue than the poor decision making and like bad shot selection. Like, those are problems, yes, but it's also like they were still in the game despite both of those things. So you kind of have to look at it with the glass half full, sort of, kind of, in a way. Okay, Marina Mabury, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 6 of 18 from the field. Brittany Sykes, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, was 4 of 18 from the field. Again, I'm not going to do too much on them. It's opening week. We got some things to tweak. We got some things to work out. I'm going to table this conversation until week 3. Okay, then that's when it's going to get a little bit nasty. But week 3 though. Next, we have Sun versus Liberty. The Liberty dog walked the Sun, 106-75. I really hate that the Liberty aren't healthy and they look pretty decent. The Sun obviously aren't like, oh my gosh, a big, bad, scary contender or anything. But, they're young. The Connecticut Sun fans have been through a lot. They're about to lose their team. And, it just, this is starting the season like this, my goodness. But I really loved that, first of all, the fans showed up and showed out for the team. That's first. And secondly, I really liked that even when they were losing and it was the fourth quarter and it's like, girl, I wouldn't even be putting in too much effort right now. They still went out there and they played hard. They made mistakes, but they gave it their best. They had some bright spots here and there. I'm going to be excited to see BG and Sanaya's 2-man game as the season continues, especially, until Lila Khan is here, and they need her badly. But when they do get her, this is going to be a different team. And, already you're seeing flashes of good stuff from them. Like, Diamond Miller had 16 points, 3 rebounds. Anissa Morrow had 15 points, 6 rebounds. Brittany Griner, 13 points, 6 rebounds. And I think that any 2-man game with BG is going to be great. So I'm excited to see how they find her, and, because she's still capable of playing elite basketball. So excited for them. I think the Sun were a bit careless with the ball. They had a lot of turnovers. I did like the lineup with Haley Van Lith, Anissa Morrow, Sanaya Rivers, and BG. I felt like it was just a little bit better of an offensive lineup. And that's really it. I think the Liberty, obviously, they're starting the season strong. They did have a little bit of trouble with the Mystics on Sunday, so not too much, but the Liberty definitely, they just have an embarrassment of riches. They have some of the best players all together, and it's like, even when one goes down, it's like they have somebody come in off the bench you've never heard of, and they're amazing. They give you good, impactful minutes. So and they're not even healthy. Satu is not even back on the floor. Sabrina's not on the floor. And, we have a couple of weeks with no Sabrina, but I'm interested to see how that continues and how they work her in. Is she going to be running the point? Is she going to be more of a shooting guard, figuring out what that looks like under this new coach? But their offense looks healthy. Like, people are taking shots, they're making good decisions, they're getting out in transition, which we know they love to do, that 5-out basketball. It's going to be an interesting season for them for sure, but for me right now, I'm thinking that the Liberty are going to be obviously a team to beat, and the Aces are definitely going to have their hands full, and really any contender, the Wings, the Fever, the Dream, they're going to have their hands full with the Liberty for sure. But I guess we'll see how everything shakes out. But the stats for the Liberty: Brianna Stewart started the season off hot, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, was 10 of 17 from the field. Maureen Johannes had 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, was 6 of 13 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3. She just lets it fly. And sometimes I'd be like, no, Maureen, why you shoot that? And then it'll go in, and I'm like, okay, no, yeah, you were right. Yeah, that's why you're the pro. And I'm right here. Exactly. Next, we have Julie Vanloo. She had 12 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds. People were loving this performance from her, okay? But Jelani Hamilton, first game off the knee, after she was out, after Unrivaled. She didn't play last season. She gave you 12 points, 4 assists. They really missed her last year. Again, that's just like another piece of like, I think that they can really get another championship with this roster. It's obviously extremely early, and I hate the Liberty. I can never give them a 10, but I do enjoy the players individually. That's more than I can say for some people. The Mercury. If you're a Mercury fan, I'm so sorry to you. I'm so sorry. It's going to get nasty. It's going to. Okay? I wanted to let you know early. Anyways, Jonquel Jones gave you 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. Great game from the Liberty, unfortunately. You hate to see it. Next, we have Valkyries versus Storm. The Valkyries beat the Storm 91-80. This was a fun game. I feel like the Storm came out really strong. They were in the game, and then, the Valkyries kind of started taking it. The Valkyries, they took a second to kind of settle into the game. They struggled to open it up, but Chechi Zandalasini came in, scored 8 points, played impactful minutes. Then she got hurt. I didn't even know she got hurt. I was wondering why she wasn't out on the court again, because I was like, dang, she had just got the offense going when she came in the game. Where's she at? And then I found out she's hurt. So I think once, she's back, and Tiffany Hayes, this team, they're going to do something special for sure. I think they have a great lineup. Janelle Salon, Caitlin Chen, Veronica Burton, Kyla Charles, Kayla Thornton, they all played amazing basketball, and that's just going to continue to get better. You can tell that, defense is still very much the identity and the 3-point shot, and they're doing it effectively and efficiently, and I'm sure it's just going to get better as the season goes on. Salon gave you 20 points, was 7 of 16 from the field. Veronica Burton had 16 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. Caitlin Chen had 14 points and 2 assists. Kayla Thornton gave you 13 points and 8 rebounds. Gabby Williams gave you 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. I saw people mumbling. They were mumbling. They had asked, oh, what are your thoughts on Gabby? And I was kind of like, I kind of need to see some more games first, honestly. This is a new team, a new system. I did like the shots that she took this game. Some of them weren't her typical looks. I'm excited to see what happens here with the Valkyries, but early on, they look really great. They look gritty, and, scoring isn't an issue for them. So they're already over a couple of humps that a lot of teams are going to be facing as the season continues. For the Storm, they just struggle to take care of the ball. This is a really great young team, though. They have great energy. They have vets and everything. They have that presence. And I really like that the coach is allowing for her players to play. There's some players who we haven't seen play, who've been on the roster for 2-3 years and have never really gotten a chance. And you can see that she's kind of putting her trust in those players and how important that is early on. Because I think the game that they had later on this week, everybody scored. Everybody got their touches in, and that's good to see early. And I'm excited to see how that team develops in the years to come. But they definitely have some great young talent on this team. Dominique Malonga gave you 21 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, was 8 of 15 from the field. Zaya Cook gave you 15 points and 7 rebounds. Jade Melvin gave you 13 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and was 4 of 5 from the field. That's a player who plays hard, and we know because she lost her tooth. Half of it. It's crazy. Jade Melvin is actually insane. She definitely needs to keep a mouth guard in, though, okay? Because it's like the 3rd or 4th time she done lost a tooth. It's the same tooth, thank God, but sister, we might need to just get the implant, okay? Anyways, Flage gave you 12 points in her opening night. Again, very excited for this Storm team and what they're going to be doing this season. On Saturday, there were 4 games. The first was Wings versus Fever. The Wings beat the Fever 107-104. This was an interesting first game for Dallas. I think that a lot of fans are very, hyper-focused on certain things. For me, I'm hyper-focused on watching Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard, but I'm interested to see how they do without Cheryl Reeves as their coach and without that Lynx system, because there were a few times in this matchup, and it's just the first game, so it's whatever, but there were a couple of times when you could kind of tell that they were expecting somebody to come and help on defense. And I think that Dallas is just in a space where they kind of have to figure out their defense. Obviously, like I said, it's the first game, so they're going to have a lot of time to, tweak things and work out the bugs. But I think that the both of them benefited from Lynx defense, because there was always Bridget Carlton is coming to help, or there's Kayla McBride is going to accept the switch, but you're not giving up much in size. You're not giving up much when it comes to defending on the perimeter, right? Like, arguably, you could say that both of those players were better perimeter defenders anyways. But it's just like, I think they're just going to have to figure that out. And I think that they will do that. They're both excellent bigs. And I'm interested to see how they handle other dominant bigs moving forward. Obviously, Aaliyah Boston is great, but she is coming off of injury. And their other post player is hurt who would be starting. So we're not seeing like the full matchup of what that would look like yet. But I liked what I saw so far. Obviously, Atlanta kind of struggled offensively, and the both of them were in foul trouble. And that's another thing they kind of have to tackle. I think Cheryl Reeves is very good at protecting her players from themselves before they make mistakes. And so it's going to be an adjustment, for the coach. Does he do that, or do the players kind of adjust to, hey, I know that I only got these 5 fouls, so I need to really be smart about, what I'm allowing and what I'm not allowing. And because in the moments when the both of them were in foul trouble and they were on the bench and the people came in off the bench, not to say that they're not good, but there's levels to it. There's levels to it. And Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard need to be on the floor, and in order to do that, they have to make sure that they're not in foul trouble. And I think, it's that. It's, you got to adjust to a new system, a new coach, and also, the game is being called differently now. So it's just a lot of things, but I think that they're going to figure it out. I do think Jessica Shepard has to work on her screens, the angle of them at least. I saw her setting a couple of screens throughout the game, and people just aren't getting enough space from her screen, so she kind of got to work on the angle. And, she wasn't really getting called for moving screens. It was more so just the fact that you're setting screens, but they're not that effective. So obviously, you workshop that. It's going to be fine. But it was a good game. There was a big momentum swing by Lexi Hall, completely changed the game to me. Obviously they were competing and battling the entire time. Like, nobody ever had like a 10-point lead, I don't think. But it was tight the whole way. But Lexi Hall really came up big. And I think when she is healthy, I agree with the people who are saying that she should be starting. I think that Sophie is is a more efficient offensive player. And she obviously plays good defense, but Lexi Hall, the energy she gives you, I feel like it's a little bit more impactful. And also, it's like the unit thing. I feel like Lexi coming in the second unit and them not having a scorer it kind of impacts things. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what Stephanie White does with that as the season continues and, as she gets healthy. But I liked what I saw from the Fever. I thought they looked fairly solid. But for the Wings, Rickea gave you 22 points, 5 assists, and was 8 of 15 from the field. Paige had 20 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, was 8 of 10 from the field. She missed 2 free throws in the clutch, which was very uncharacteristic, but I'm sure she'll be back in it, by next game. I feel like, I don't know, Paige kind of got tripped up a bit in the final minutes just because I think the defense was really hounding her. But they figured it out and they were able to get the win. Odyssey Sims has been great. She's starting. I really enjoyed her when she played with the Wings, when Latricia Trammell was the coach. She was great then. She was on a hardship contract, so they didn't keep her for the entire season. But I honestly had wished that the Wings had kept Odyssey Rickea and Maddie Segrist together, because I feel like they have really great chemistry together. And I think that we saw some of that when Maddie was on the floor with both of them. And I'm just excited that Odyssey has the opportunity to play here. 20 points, was 8 of 11 from the field. She has amazing handles. She plays great defense as well. Then we had Jessica Shepard. She gave you 13 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, and was 5 of 8 from the field. Isaiah James had a good night off the bench with 10 points. Very excited to see what the Wings do this season. I definitely think that they'll be in the playoffs. And obviously, you know, they're striving for that and they're trying to get a championship. So I'm excited to see how it shakes out, but really great team that Kurt Miller was able to put together. Next, we have the Fever. Kelsey Mitchell gave you 30 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and was 11 of 22 from the field. Aaliyah Boston had 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, and was 9 of 14 from the field. Caitlin gave you 20 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and was 7 of 18 from the field. I would really love to see Caitlin kind of warm up her shot a little bit. Like, obviously, when she's on, she's great. It's amazing when she hits shots. It's like, oh my gosh, wow, how did she do it? Momentum in the moment. I get it. At the beginning of the game, though, I was like really blown that she was trying to shoot these long threes because I was like, sister, can we get a long 2 first? Can we start off with a long 2? And maybe we work to behind the 3, and then we work our way to the logo. We don't have to start there by any means. I think what was crazy was Caitlin was playing. Her court vision is insane. We know this. Great passer. They went on a run. I remember I was watching the game and I saw it was right after Lexi had I think she got them to turn the ball over, and that was that momentum swing play, and then they went on a run. Caitlin over here doing a behind the back pass to Maisha Hines-Allen, and that's when I was like, Jose, call the timeout, King. Sub. He ain't call no subs. He called them later, and then by then it was like they had gone on an 8-0 run or something, or a 10. I don't know what run they went on, but they went on one. And I was like, Jose, you got to call that a little bit earlier, King. I'm so sorry. They had put together a couple of bad possessions defensively and offensively for the Wings. And I was like, we need some fresh blood in here. And it was actually, ironically, I believe, when the Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard were in foul trouble. And they had to get some people in off the bench because they need to work on that right there. Because that did not look great, okay? Anyways, but Caitlin's great and everything. She looked good, and there was something else. I was going to say. Oh, yeah, she was finishing around the rim well. I thought that was really nice, and I would really like to see more of that from her. Even if her warming up her shot is, getting in the rim a little bit, a little mid-range, a little this, little that. I would really like that. Yeah, she's a great 3-point shooter. I'm not denying that. I would love to see her warm up to the logo, though. We don't have to start there. It's perfectly fine. Steph Curry don't start out there. You know what I'm saying? He could, but he doesn't. So I think maybe we take a page there and we work our way back. But again, when she's on, she's on. So I can't even really be mad at it. If she opened up a game with a 3 like that, the roof off the place. So I'm not going to do too much, but I would really like to see that from her. I think it would be a difference maker for sure. And to the Fever fans out there, welcome to the Maisha Hines-Allen experience, okay? It's almost like a rite of passage. I went through it with my Lynx. She got there. I went to the game. Atlanta Dream versus Minnesota Lynx. I was so excited to see my team. They put Maisha in there. She was smoking layups. I was like, there ain't no way in hell I'm seeing this right now live. There ain't no way. There was a way. And then Dallas last year, we know what happened there. The ball bouncing off feet, not passing the ball to Paige. It gets to a point, even the other day, I'm watching the game. She bringing the ball up. Turned it over. There's no reason for you to be bringing the ball up. There's actually no reason at all. If Caitlin don't got the ball, if Kelsey ain't got the ball, Aaliyah Boston should be bringing the ball up. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hall, anybody but you. Okay? Anyways, but good luck with that, y'all. When she threw that ball up, and it didn't hit the rim, it just hit the backboard. And I mean, they got the points off of it, but that's just still not the point, because what the hell are you doing? What the hell are we doing? Anyways, but that's all I'm going to say on that. Next, we have Mercury versus Aces, an absolute disaster class on ring night. The Mercury cooked them so bad, 99-66. They lost by 33 points on national television at their house on ring night. There's a bright side to this in my mind, It's kind of did the Mercury beat them that day? Yeah, sure. But it's also Okay, you beat us by 33 points, but also we got a ring on your watch. So it's kind of like, I get people being like, oh my gosh, this is great. Oh, wow, wow. But it's, well, no, not really. Not really, because when you needed to do it, you did. They got swept, right? They got swept. It really makes you think. Really makes you think. Anyways, I'll never give Phoenix a 10, but I'll acknowledge that all your starters were in double digits. And shout out to, I hope I pronounced this name right, Jovana Nokic. She had 19 points in her debut game in the WNBA, 4 of 5 from 3. And maybe she just cut like that because she actually had some pretty great numbers in their loss to the Valkyries yesterday. But I'm excited to see what she does. But all in all, I hate the Phoenix Mercury, and I will probably be skipping their games the most. So sorry to the Mercury fans, but I actually hate them. So I'm so sorry. You won't get the coverage that you're looking for here on them, but I'll try to take my bias out of it. Maybe by week 5. Maybe I'll be a little nicer to them by week 5. For the Aces, I'm not even gonna do the stats. I'm gonna just say A'ja Wilson, 19 points, 50% from the floor, always shows up. It's never Asia's fault. It's never Asia's fault. Nalissa Smith, I'm gonna give you a shout out as well. You played pretty decently. I'll let you have it. The rest of you, I believe Jewel Lloyd only had 2 points this game. Or was it... Actually, this might have been the game she had 6. Was it 6 or was it 4? Or was it 2? I don't know. The game from yesterday, she only had 2 points in like 30 minutes. But anyways, moving on. Dream versus Lynx. My heart was really torn watching this game because... See, it's not that I'm not a Dream fan, because I grew up going to the games. I'm going to tell you what the situation really is. I have just known that they were not a team that was going past the first round of the playoffs. Dream beat the Lynx 91-90. I thought that the Dream were going to win. I was honestly super surprised when I turned the TV on and the Lynx were playing well. They were playing excellent. It was only because the Dream had like started off slow, and then after halftime they came back from being down 19. You know, some people ask me what that means to me as a Lynx fan, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't super hurt. I wasn't expecting them to have looked as good as they did. Like, I know that they lost the game, but the Dream to me are contenders, and they were playing against a team that's not even healthy yet, you know? It's like, what does this team look like with the healthy Nafisa Collier and Dorka Juhas, who's like was just named MVP of the EuroLeague? Like, I think we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. And even like losing that game, our post players have fouled out who have been playing well. Obviously, we have to work on that. But to only lose by 1, and honestly, Olivia Miles had made like a game-winning pass. The shot didn't go down. Angel had blocked it. But I think if you have a more experienced big there, who knows what happens? Even if you have the bigs that fouled out in the game and had been playing well, who knows what happens? Like, yeah, they lost that one. It's a tough heartbreaker, but the fact that they were even in the game versus a team that is a contender for a championship, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. And honestly, I'm supposed to be putting my dream hat back on, because you guys know I live in Atlanta or in the surrounding area. And, you know, I'm sitting here like there's an angel in my city. There's an ATL Barbie in my city. I'm like, I got to support that. I grew up a Dream fan anyways. It's just, this was tough for me. I didn't know who I wanted to win, but I was happy to be there. I think to see this Lynx offense under a true point guard has been very exciting. And again, like, we haven't even seen it fully healthy, but the fact that Cheryl is just able to kind of just plug players in, and the Lynx still play good competitive basketball. Like, Cheryl Reeves is definitely one of the best coaches in women's basketball, no question. And like, it's only going to get better from here, and I'm very excited for it. You know, we're already kind of seeing Kayla McBride and Courtney Williams and some bigs, benefiting from this draft pick, and I'm very excited to see this team and to root for them as they continue. But it was a pretty bittersweet game. I didn't know who I was cheering for. I was just there. But Kayla McBride had a clutch 3 when the game was tied with a minute and 15 seconds left in the fourth. Unfortunately, Tahina Pow hit a big shot to take the lead after going 2 of 9 from the field. Like, her being able to come into the game and hit a clutch bucket like that, Pow is definitely, again, I'm telling you, if the Dream aren't able to get it done with this roster, man, I don't know if they'll ever be able to, because they just have so much talent, so much depth, and they're just amazing. The Dream beat them on the boards 46-25. Alicia Gray had 24 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Naz Hillman had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and was 6 of 10 from the field. Jordan Canada had 12 points, 6 assists, and was 4 of 7 from the field, giving timely buckets and finishing well around the rim. Ryan Howard gave you 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. And Angel gave you 11 points, 14 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks. She struggled a bit to finish around the rim, but I think it's just a matter of time with that. She's on a new team, she's in a new system, and, she's going to have to develop her shot more because the coach wants her shooting. So it's going to be like a lot of growth here, I think, for Angel, and a lot of development, and I'm excited to see, what she looks like by like All-Star break and come like playoff time. Honorable mention to Medina Okot. She had a great game. I think she had like 8 points, and she had some rebounds and stuff, and I think she shot like 50% from the floor or something. So shout out to her having a great game in her debut. For the Lynx, I love the post play. Seeing that this system still works without some of the players from last year, I'm very hopeful for the team. And I think, again, just to see a true scoring point guard is amazing, and I can't wait for Dorkin Fee to play with Olivia. Olivia gave you 21 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and was 6 of 14 from the field. Kayla McBride gave you 20 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and was 7 of 13 from the field. Courtney Williams, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. Emma Sakova, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. She gave you 12 points, 3 rebounds, and unfortunately fouled out of the game. I really think she could have cooked for us in those final minutes, but we'll never know. We'll never know. But she had a really strong debut here. I enjoyed the minutes that she played. Natasha Howard also fouled out. She had a good amount of turnovers, so I'm interested to see how that pans out. Is she starting with V? Is she gonna be coming out the bench? We'll see what happens. We'll see. But honorable mention to Maya Caldwell. She had some great energy minutes off the bench, and she was playing really well, finishing around the rim. I don't really know. I want to see her play against some other players, just because she used to play for the Dream. So it's kind of like, you used to be doing this in practice, and you used to be playing, a little one-on-one with the players. So you're used to that. So I kind of want to see how she fares against some other, good defenses and some other great players. But she was really great off the bench, and I wouldn't mind seeing her in 6th player of the year discussions moving forward. Obviously it's extremely early. It's only been 1 game, but I really liked what I saw, and I've always enjoyed Maya Caldwell hoops. Even when she was in Atlanta, I was honestly confused why she wasn't getting more minutes, but I digress. Anyways, Kosu, she came in and had a great defensive possession after the players in front of her had fouled out. She got a block and tip in crunch time. So shout out to Kosu, and I hope that she gets some more minutes as the season goes on. I feel like she had some good action. I'm excited to see it. Next, we have Sky versus Fire. The Sky beat the Fire 98-83. I watched the condensed game because I couldn't watch the actual game because I had to wait until 6 a.m. until the game was on there. But it was Mother's Day and there were 4 games coming on, so I didn't have time to watch it. And then it's just a lot going on. So Sky versus Fire. The Sky beat the Fire 98-83. People said it was bad basketball. Someone actually told me that they looked like the 2025 Chicago Sky. And that's where I'm not even going to hold you. I might have to disagree. Chicago Sky in 2025 looked worse than that. I'm sorry. And that's just real. That's just my real take. Like, I saw the first quarter regular game, and then I was like, let me just go to the condensed game. But from what I saw, they looked fairly decent, and at least they were actually in the game. Chicago Sky, they didn't even used to be in the game. They just be getting blown out sometimes. Like, we have to be really serious with ourselves, okay? Like, are the Portland Fire great on paper? No. Do they look good on screen? I don't know yet. First game, but I didn't mind what I was seeing. I feel like they were fairly decent. Sarah Ashley Barker, I'll admit I wasn't very impressed with her last year, but also I think that maybe the Sparks coach isn't a good coach. So I kind of need to feel that one out. Give me the rest of the season, and then we'll come back to it. We'll put a pin in that. It's her first game, obviously, but I would really like to see, her as a centerpiece of an offense. I don't know if it needs to be the starting, but like the second unit or whatever, but she's definitely going to be big for them this season. Jordan Harrison, I really enjoy her. She's small but quick. I really noticed her during preseason. Extremely unfortunate. Jordan Harrison was waived while I was recording this episode, and I'm editing it now. I was going to cut it out, but the things that I said still stand, and that lady should not have even been waived. People were saying it's because she's short, but she had great energy. She could finish around the rim. Like, you just had to see the vision, and I thought they was going to keep her, so now I'm low-key annoyed. Now I look goofy as hell, but I'm going to keep it up, and I'm going to keep it up. I think, obviously, she has to get her turnovers together, but I still feel like she has a good handle on the ball. She really isn't, she's trying to get the ball moving. And I enjoyed her minutes. She's crafty as well around the rim. So I'm excited to see what she does. She is very small, okay, but she's fast. And I'm excited to see how she develops over this season. And I'm really glad that she is on the team, JC Sheldon had some good looks. Y'all know I'm a JC Sheldon fan bad. I was going to shun Chicago Sky because I was like, girl, I don't want to see that basketball. I do really like Rickea Jackson, though. I like Skylar Diggins. I like JC Sheldon. So I'm going to be watching. Camila Cardozo had a great game as well. I saw that. I noticed that. And at the beginning of the season, I had tweeted that, it's going to be a big year for Camila and for Cameron Brink. Because, it's kind of like we need to start seeing some return on investment a little bit. And Camila is showing up, I think her time overseas really might have been helpful. I don't know if Portland Fire their bigs they don't have notable bigs at a time like this. But I'm interested to see how she plays against more dominant bigs moving forward. Obviously, Azzi Stevens is going to be in there. You got Elizabeth Williams. But I liked what I saw from Camila so far. Bridget Carlton, she had some good back-to-back three moments later on in the game. I would like to see her scoring earlier on in the game, though. I know that's not her WNBA game, but whenever I see clips of her playing overseas, it's like she be shooting out of her mind. I need you to duplicate that here, okay? That's like my biggest gripe with Bridget Carlton. Like, I love Bridget Carlton. Her defense is great. She can shoot the ball. It's just, but like, she don't be shooting the ball. I need her to do that. And I think that this team would benefit from that. If they can have her playing well, Sarah Ashley Barker, Carla Late, is there somebody else I'm missing? Megan Gustafson. If all four of them can like contribute consistently every night, I think that they might be pretty decent. Gabriela Jaquez had some good plays in the third. I think she ended up with like 10 points by the end of it. So she was active and had high energy. Again, it's tough to say with like the Sky versus Fire game because the Fire aren't supposed to be good and like they didn't suck. But it's also like we'll have to see. We'll have to see how Chicago Sky plays moving forward in the season. But it was a pretty enjoyable matchup. It felt evenly matched up. Obviously, the Sky also have some injuries. Actually, Dejanay Carrington, Azzi Stevens. I don't know some of the other people, but they have injuries. But when they come back healthy, we'll see what happens. Then with 5 minutes left, the Fire just kind of fell apart because they were in the game. They just had some mental lapses, some defensive plays went wrong. We'll see. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was not 2025 Chicago Sky. Y'all had gassed it. But the Fire lost the battle on the boards, 46-24. Again, no notable bigs in a real way. them losing wasn't just about scoring, was really what I wanted to highlight for this game, though. Camila Cardozo gave you 22 points, 14 rebounds, was 8 of 15 from the field. Skylar Diggins gave you 21 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, was 8 of 12 from the field. Rickea Jackson, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. I still don't know what the vision is over there in Chicago, but that's why I really don't think that lady knows how to coach. I'm really starting because I don't know how you give up Rickea Jackson. I don't know how you do that. I really don't. JC Sheldon gave you 13 points, had the best plus minus on the floor for the Sky, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 4 of 7 from the field. Put respect on JC Sheldon's name, okay? Gabriela Jaquez, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Elizabeth Williams, happy to see her healthy, gave you 10 points, 4 of 5 from the field. For the Fire, Carla Lake gave you 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, was 3 of 11 from the field. Not super efficient, but cleaned it up at the line, was 11 of 12 from the free throw line. We're going to put a pin in that note, and we're going to come back to it. Bridget Carlton, 13 points, 4 assists. Sarah Ashley Barker, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 9 from the field. Megan Gustafson, 10 points, 4 of 6 from the field. I will say that I like that this team is going to be capable of shooting on the perimeter. I like that. I'm more so hesitant and questionable about them fouling too much, about finishing around the rim as well, and in the paint and taking care of the ball. Those were like the main things that I was kind of like, we look at that and we work on that. But again, expansion team, I'm not like expecting them to be in the playoffs at all. I'm not. And I don't think that that's their goal either. So we'll see how it shakes out. On Saturday, we had 4 games. The first was Storm versus Sun. The Storm beat the Sun 89-82. Anissa Morrow is coming up big in the 4th, but unfortunately, they just weren't able to seal the deal. The Storm lost the rebounding battle, but they had an all-around better game from the floor, at the line, and on the defensive end with 18 stocks to the Suns' 10. I'm very excited again to see this team continue to improve. Obviously, Azzi Magbagor is injured, Katie Lou Samuelson, so I'm interested to see how they compete once they're fully healthy. For the Storm, Lexi Brown had a big game, 17 points, 6 of 7 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3. I'm not going to lie. She was hooping, okay? She was out there hooping. Flau'jae Johnson, 16 points, 3 steals, 6 rebounds. Not, like, super efficient from the field, but, like, she's a rookie, and also she did clean everything up at the line. She was 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Jade Melvin gave you 15 points, 6 assists, and was 4 of 7 from the field. Really gritty player. I'm excited to see her. She has great energy. Dominique Malunga, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Natisha Heidemann had 11 points, 3 assists, was 5 of 10 from the field. Wasn't super efficient, but I really like that we get the opportunity to see all of these players play, but also that all of them are contributing. Everybody who played had 4 or more points, and everybody did play, and everybody's getting on the boards. They're, kind of building great habits. And like I said, this team is young, but I'm excited to see them as they continue to progress. It's going to be like a really fun season for them, and I think they're capable of doing some great stuff and, kind of surprising people. So I guess we'll see how that shakes out, but so far, I like the coach and I like her decision making. I feel like last year or the past 2 years, because the Storm were competing for a championship, we weren't really getting to see some of the talent on the bench. We weren't really getting to see any development. For the Sun, Anissa Morrow had 17 points, 16 rebounds, and was 7 of 15 from the field. Brittany Griner had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and was 6 of 11 from the field. Diamond Miller gave you 13 points, 5 rebounds. Kennedy Burke had 12 points, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 6 rebounds. And Haley Van Lith gave you 9 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Again, another player I'm excited to see have an opportunity somewhere else. Shout out to Haley Van Lith. Next, we have Liberty versus Mystics. The Liberty beat the Mystics in the first overtime of the season, 98-93. The Liberty did well in transition. That's typically how they attempt to get their points. But the Mystics were giving them a run for their money early in the first, sticking with them throughout the entirety of it. There were some times, where the Mystics had a lead. There were sometimes when the New York had the lead. But it was just an all-around great game. I wasn't able to watch it all the way through because it was Mother's Day. But, with no Sabrina or Satu or Rebecca Allen or Leonie Febish, this team, again, still looks pretty decent. The Mystics, they're a young team. They're going to fight for it every single time. Early on, I really enjoyed the Mystics getting in the paint. A lot of teams rely on threes or are creating systems with threes at the center of the offense. So it's nice to see that versatility from these players, and especially for them to be younger players, not being afraid to get in the paint, get a little bit physical, get to the line. I like what they got going. They can do that because of the personnel that they have, but a lot of people have mentioned that they don't have any vets, and that's their weak spot. But again, I'm very excited, and if every piece just continues to be developed properly, I'm excited to see what they're able to do in 2 to 3 to 4 years. And I think they have something really special here. So I hope they're able to stay together and everybody stays healthy. I would love to see a healthy Mystics team in the playoffs. If not this year, then in the years to come. Mystics won the battle on the board and in the paint, 42 to 34 and 40 to 54, respectively. They also got more second chance points. So just all around, I think the Mystics had a cleaner game. It's just the Liberty are the Liberty, and they're extremely talented. And, I think, honestly, it was also a tiring game. That game went on for 2 hours and 47 minutes. For the Liberty, they just really capitalized on turnovers. Maureen Johannes had a great night from the field, 25 points, 2 steals, was 8 of 15 from the field, 6 of 13 from 3. Brianna Stewart gave you 23 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Not too concerned about her efficiency this game, since they are missing some of their players that I'm sure, are going to carry a decent amount of the scoring load. So, Brianna Stewart is having a great season so far, and I'm excited to see what she does moving forward. Pauline Astier, but she gave you 18 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, was 6 of 10 from the field. And that's what I'm talking about when we say the Liberty have an embarrassment of riches. I've never heard of Pauline Astier before this moment, and she's been hooping. In preseason, she didn't really have a big game the first game, but this game, she came up big, and I'm excited to see how she plays as the season continues. Again, I respect these players so much on the Liberty team. I just hate that they beat the Lynx. That's really it. And I will never get over that ever until I seek revenge. Anywho, Jonquel Jones, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Great game for her. Rebecca Gardner had a good stretch of minutes, getting out in transition, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the field. Julie Vanloo, let's have the discussion. There was somebody who tweeted the other day, Julie Vanloo deserves to find a home. Here's the thing. Julie Vanloo, I watched her rookie season 2 years ago when we started the podcast, and I was like, Julie, she has her moments. When she was playing with the Mystics, I was like, she has her moments for sure. She's decent. She's solid. And then, she went to the Valkyries, and that situation, how they handled that was messy. She had a really great game or two, and then after that, she struggled offensively. They waived her. Again, situation was handled terribly. She got picked up from the Sparks. I think she had a good game or two. And then again, it was kind of offense kind of curtailed off. And you can't really be mad at her because I think they picked her up last minute. She had just got the playbook before she even played her first game, but she played well. And then even with this team, again, she was waived from the Sparks training camp, got picked up by the Liberty, and she had an amazing first game. I think it was 15 points, 12 assists. You're like, oh my gosh. And then you have a game like this today, and it doesn't go as well. It's not as many points, not as many assists. And it's just I understand what people are saying. And at the same time, it's kind of as a fan, I know that's what I'm getting. So the coaches and the GMs know that. I do want her to have an opportunity somewhere, but it is also like sometimes if somebody else gets the opportunity over her, I can understand how and why. And again, that's no shade to Julie because I think she's a solid player. It's just about being a solid player consistently. And I think that she's capable of doing that. I hope that she gets the opportunity to do that. But that's just my thoughts on it. I understand because I've watched her for the past 2-3 years. It's like everybody's saying Julie is amazing. Oh my gosh, she had this amazing game. She does that. You can arguably say that she does that every year. She'll have a good handful of games and then it's, I don't know. I'm going to put a pin in it. We're going to put a pin in it and table it. But again, like I said, I know what I'm getting. The teams know what they're getting. They know what's being offered to them. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Hope she's able to find a home or maybe, get picked up on a hardship contract. Because I think that that's what this is with New York. But, maybe she can find something a little bit more permanent moving forward. For the Mystics, free throws. I think they have to capitalize there. I think that was their weak point in this game. I'm sure there were other errors, but I didn't really have time to go back and rewatch the game. So we're going to go with that. Kiki, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 of 13 from the field, double-double. Kiki Ariel, again, is going to have a great season, and I'm very excited to see what her and Sonia do. This is a great team. Sonia Citron gave you 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, was 4 of 12 from the field, 9 of 10 from where? 9 of 10 from what? Oh, from the free throw line. Girl, I thought I was about to say 9 of 10 from 3. I was like, now, I know I would have heard more noise about that performance. Not her most efficient night from the floor, but she definitely made them pay at the line. So, all around, really great game from her. Shakira Austin gave you 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and was 6 of 13 from the field. Again, everyone contributing on the team. I think most people who came in off the bench, they filled up the box score somehow. If it wasn't points, it was rebounds and assists. If it wasn't that, it was free throws. It was they're doing a lot of things right. And again, building great habits early is going to be important for this young team, and I'm excited to see it. Next, we have Aces versus Sparks. I really wanted to watch this game. I watched the first 2 quarters before I started recording. The Aces beat the Sparks 105-78. I really thought that the Sparks were going to come out different. Ray Burrell didn't really have a great game. This season is really, I really think this season is going to be very important. Like, the Sparks might need to give up on that, like, young rebuild thing because I don't really know. I don't know if I see it for them. I don't know if I see win now championship for them. I don't know that I see rebuild either. Like, I think getting rid of Rickea was just such a strange decision to me. So strange. And it's like, yeah, you got Ariel Atkins, but I just feel like Rickea is a much more consistent player offensively, and she plays hard on defense as well. Like, does she have like a defensive like team or whatever? I think Ariel Atkins has that. Like, does she have a championship? Ariel Atkins has that. I get why you believe that that's an upgrade. I'm gonna have to see it. But right now, I'm not seeing the vision. Ariel Atkins is a good player, though. I'll give her that because I did see her play for the Mystics 2 years ago. She played with Julie Vanloo on the Mystics. And it's not that it was bad. It's just that, like, it's not consistent sometimes. It's not efficient, And I don't know if that can exist next to the style of players around her here. We'll see, though. But I was definitely expecting them to come out better because they didn't have a game. Aces are playing a back-to-back. I fully expected the Sparks to go out there and at least give them more of a battle than they did. Nneka Ogwumike's first game back with the Sparks, with Kelsey Plum, De'Erica Hamby not really getting, as many touches or like as good of looks as I thought she would have gotten. Again, Ray Burrell, we need her to show up. Cameron Brink, we need Cameron to get the fouls together so that she can stay on the floor and impact the game. So It's going to be interesting. I'm very convinced that the coach can't coach. And that's what this came down to. I'm very convinced, but we'll see how it goes. I don't want to see how it goes, but like, we're going to see how it goes. Anywho, Aces had to respond after the first game. After getting blown out by 33 on national TV on ring night, you have to respond, and they did just that. They outscored them over 3 quarters. They beat them in the paint 62-40. 28 points were scored off of the Sparks turnovers. Jesus. I'm going to put the shot chart on the screen. The shot chart looks atrocious. Like, it looks like the Sparks, they were just out there doing a preseason matchup. I don't know. I'm very concerned right now. They don't look great. They don't. And it's not even that they're hurt. They just don't look great. We'll see. Kelsey was keeping a minute. It's never Kelsey Plum's fault. Y'all know I love me some Kelsey Plum. It's not even NECA's fault. We're going to have to see better from everyone else, though. We're going to have to. Anywho, strong first quarter from the Aces. They went on a 14-0 run to close it. Like I said, Kelsey Plum was keeping a minute. It just wasn't enough. Kennedy Carter, amazing game after giving you 10 points in the opener. She gave you 22 points, 2 steals, and was 9 of 13 from the field. Jackie Young gave you 20 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 8 of 12 from the field. Asia Wilson, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 7 of 14 from the field. Chelsea Gray, 16 points, 5 assists, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. Nalissa Smith, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 of 5 from the field. Jewel Lloyd, 2 points in 26 minutes. See, and I'm trying not to do too much it's the first week, but 2 points in 26 minutes, everybody else responded. Everybody else responded after having a bad game, but you. I'm going to table that conversation for now, but Jewel Lloyd, you should be ashamed of yourself. For the Sparks, Kelsey Plum, 27 points, 4 rebounds, 10 of 18 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3. She hasn't missed a step since Unrivaled, and Kelsey Plum was hooping in Unrivaled. Nneka Ogwumike gave you 19 points, 10 rebounds, 7 of 15 from the field. Dearica Hamby, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Erica, Ray, Ariel, and Cameron, I'm going to give y'all 3 weeks to get it together. Okay, we're going to put a pin in it for right now. But what y'all gave that night, it wasn't enough. I'm seeing people are playing for 18 to 28 minutes and somehow only have 2 and 5 points. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Y'all are supposed to be contending for a championship. Y'all are supposed to be competing right now. And y'all did this. It was against the defending champs when they had to respond, but y'all got fresh legs. Y'all got fresh legs. I'm going to see how that goes, but I'm not liking that already. Mercury versus Valkyries. I made it home to see the last quarter of the game, but I wasn't really paying attention. I'll be honest with you. The Valkyries beat the Mercury 95-79, and this is why I don't take that little win they had serious. That's why you can't take it too serious, because it's not. The Valkyries beat the Mercury in points in the paint, 36-24. For the Mercury, Alyssa Thomas had 19 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, was 5 of 9 from the field. Giovanna Nokic gave you 16 points, was 5 of 6 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. She might be a steal because she is hooping and she's doing it efficiently. Like I told you, I'm never going to give the Mercury a 10, but I'll give you a 6. I'll give her a 6. Kalia Copper, 11 points, 4 assists. I think she got hurt this game. I think she tweaked an ankle. And if you've been listening to this podcast since season 1, we're going to table this conversation for 4 weeks, okay? I was very hard on Kalia Copper season 1. Very hard on her. I tried to right my wrongs season 2. Season 3, though, I don't know. She's coming back from these injuries. She's struggling to stay healthy. I don't know. I'm going to table it for 4 weeks. I'm going to give her time to get it together. But by June, I'm not going to be able to cut anybody's slack. We are holding people accountable, okay? I like Ka. I need to see it consistently from you, okay? I need it consistently. Again, tweaked her ankle, but 11 points it's not enough. Okay, it's not enough. You don't have Satu anymore. We got to lock in and we got to be ready for the moment. Natasha Mack, 11 points. The Golden State Valkyries, Janelle Salon, great game again. 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3, just consistent. Kayla Thornton gave you 19 points, 3 rebounds, 8 of 14 from the field. Great game for her. I was hoping to see more offense from her after that first game, and she responded well this game. Gabby Williams, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, 1 block, 7 of 13 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3. She responded well after that first game. People were talking on her name, but she responded. Veronica Burton, 13 points, 12 assists, 3 steals. Amazing night for her, double-double. Letitia Mihir, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks. I'm glad that she's getting the opportunity to play. I felt like she was good last year. I was honestly baffled that she got waived, but I'm happy to see her on the floor playing hard. And I appreciate you guys so much for listening to this podcast. I'm going to go. I have to edit it. It's probably not going to be up till like 7 o'clock at this rate now. But I appreciate you guys so much for sticking with me. You know, it's all Kathy's fault that this episode is late. It's also a little bit my fault because it took like 25 takes before I really got into it. But we're here now, and I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm going to catch you guys next Tuesday. The episode will probably be long. Prayers up. I'm going to see y'all. Bye.